Now at 5, a former Commerce, Oklahoma police officer is charged with property damage from an incident that happened in Missouri. Plus, how local organizations are giving Southwest Missouri veterans a Christmas in July. And
President Biden is pushing to expand mental health services for Americans. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House with the details and why experts say it's a step in the right direction.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A former Commerce, Oklahoma police officer is charged after allegedly damaging property at a Knoll, Missouri bar. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The incident happened on July 8th. At that time, 32-year-old Christopher Chase of Miami worked for the Commerce Police Department. Authorities say Chase was at Shadow Lake, a bar in Knoll, when he threw a bar stool across the club against a wall near employees. Police were called and Chase was arrested. Authorities also say while in the patrol car, Chase began striking his head against the car and needed to be restrained. A week later, Chase resigned from his position at the police department. Chase is now charged with first-degree property damage, fourth-degree assault, trespassing, and resisting arrest. It's a hot one out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, continuing to heat up. Most of us are sitting upper 90s to near 100 degrees. In fact, we have heat advisories in effect all the way through Friday evening. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it may be extended into the weekend. But this is mainly due to the high temperatures, also the humidity across the region. Partly cloudy skies, some cumulus clouds kind of sneaking through. We have one little thunderstorm that popped up on top of us today, and that's what we're going to see over the next couple days, but most of the rain staying up across northern parts of Missouri. Look at our temps: 97 in Stockton, 98 Joplin, 96 in Bonita, we have 97 in Chanute. Then you factor in the wonderful humidity, you get the wonderful heat indices. Feels like 102 to about 103 degrees. Throughout the evening, mainly dry, hot. We slide back through the 90s. We're going to look at the rest of the week here in just a bit.
See you soon. Hot or not, veterans in Mount Vernon, Missouri are experiencing Christmas a little early this year. The Mount Vernon VA, in collaboration with Carthage VFW Post 2590, as well as other organizations, put on a Christmas in July for veterans. Santa, Mrs. Claus, and many elves were all in attendance to make sure all the veterans got the gifts they deserved.
It's a place like this is what I'm thankful for. Because my wife passed away a couple years ago after 50 years of being married. So they had this place to come to. And they treat us like family, and I enjoyed it.
The VFW, in collaboration with other organizations, was able to raise more than $6,000 to make today's festivities possible. Some area kids today learned a bit about what it's like to be a member of law enforcement. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office held a junior deputy camp. It started with demonstrations from K-9 officers. Then the junior deputies went to the shooting range and received lessons on responsible firearm use and gun safety.
To sit and talk with them. They can ask, they ask a lot of questions that, they've always, I just threw it out there, what question you've always wanted to ask law enforcement. And they can ask whatever question they want to ask. And we try to give them an answer. If we don't know the answer, we just tell them we don't know the answer. Because they come up with some doozy questions.
The day ended with demonstrations of the dangers of driving while impaired with the help of drunk goggles. The young people also learned how to perform field sobriety tests. The Biden administration says restrictive insurance policies make it hard for people to get the mental health coverage they might need. So today, President Biden announced new rules designed to make sure insurance companies are complying with the law. Reporter Skyler Henry has details from the White House.
President Biden says insurance carriers need to do more to provide mental health coverage.
For all those brave enough and strong enough to seek help, and I mean that, brave enough and strong enough to seek help, we have to do better.
Biden and many advocates say insurance policies restrict patient access to the care they need.
In 2020, less than half of all adults with mental illness diagnosis receive care for it. Less than half. For children, the number's even worse.
He announced new rules which would require insurers to study whether their plans are following the law and make changes where necessary. They're meant to end restrictive policies such as prior authorization requirements and smaller networks of providers, which limit patients' abilities to seek help.
People with insurance are twice as likely to have to go out of network for mental health care compared to physical health care.
The pandemic itself was a national stressor.
The American Psychological Association says in the months following the pandemic, demands for more mental health services are up.
So then the ripple effect of something like that, does that then require or call for more mental health professionals?
We really need to look at how mental health care is delivered, period. We need to have access to specialty care when people's symptoms and struggles overwhelm their capacity to cope. We also need to figure out mechanisms to get care to individuals before they get to the breaking point. And we don't really have a good system for that either.
But experts say the administration's push is a step in the right direction. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The new rules won't take effect for at least 60 days while the public weighs in on them. Emmett Till and his mother will get new national monuments in their honor. President Biden's move to create the monuments falls on what would have been Emmett Till's 82nd birthday. The 14-year-old's brutal murder back in 1955 helped spur the civil rights movement. The monument is set to have locations in Till's home state of Illinois and in Mississippi, where he was murdered. Its naming comes amid national debate over the teaching of such painful moments in history.
We can't just choose to learn what we want to know. We have to learn what we should know. We should know about our country. We should know everything, the good, the bad, the truth of who we are as a nation. That's what great nations do, and we are a great nation.
Last year, President Biden signed into law the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, making such a murder a federal hate crime. Still ahead, staying safe in the water.
More than 235,000 people die every year from drowning. I'm Astrid Martinez with simple ways to keep everyone safe.
And later, a look at the growing trend of employee-owned businesses. Topping today's Health Watch, extreme temperatures and air pollution are associated with an increased risk of fatal heart attacks. A study published in the journal Circulation found a 74% increase during 4-day heat waves with temperatures above 94 degrees and a 12% jump when temperatures drop below 37 degrees for 3 days. The greatest risk comes during heat waves when the air quality is also poor. World Drowning Prevention Day is marked each year on July 25th with the goal of increasing awareness about the devastating and enduring consequences of drowning on families and communities. Reporter Astrid Martinez highlights the latest research and safety recommendations.
Health leaders around the world are coming together on this day to put the spotlight on prevention measures that can save lives in and around the water. In the last decade, drowning has caused more than 2.5 million deaths. According to World Health Organization, approximately 236,000 people lose their lives to drowning every year. 90% of those deaths are in low and middle income countries. In the U.S., the American Academy of Pediatrics says drowning is a leading cause of death in childhood, especially for children 1 to 4 years.
Any place there's a few inches of standing water is a place at risk for drowning for young kids, meaning generally under the age of 4 and 5. So if you have a 5-gallon bucket, again, a toilet, or even a bathtub, if you have a young child in a bathtub, even they can drown in a few inches of water.
Because drowning can happen in just seconds and it is often silent, experts say prevention strategies are critical. That includes water safety education, fencing pools on all sides, swimming lessons, CPR, and constant supervision when children are in the water. Experts are also encouraging everyone to be aware of weather conditions and make sure life jackets are worn when traveling on water. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
Late night snacking can impact your cardiometabolic health and raise the risk of heart attack and stroke. That's according to researchers with King's College London. They also found people who snack during the day and choose higher quality foods have better blood fat and insulin responses. More than 70% of people report snacking at least twice a day. 2 glasses of non-alcoholic wine might reduce sagging skin for women. Researchers at the University of Florida found de-alcoholized wine made from muscadine grapes improved skin elasticity, water retention, and smoothness for women in their study. That's compared to those who drank a placebo. They don't know about if the wine has alcohol. Sorry. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, UPS and the Teamsters Union agreed to a tentative deal that could prevent a strike.
Plus, it's going to heat up even more as we go through the next few days. Heat advisory in effect. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, definitely heating up outside for us today. Most of us upper 90s to near 100 degrees. And with the humidity, we've had heat indices kind of in that 102 to 103 range. And this is going to climb a bit as we go through the next couple days. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo just southwest of Seneca, Missouri. Yesterday, we were kind of low to mid 90s. Today, we're pushing that triple digit mark again. We're going to be near it as we go through the next several days. Heat advisory in effect until Friday evening. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, plus overnight lows really aren't going to dip much under 80 as we go through the next couple days. Look at these temps. 94 Monette, 93 at Grand Lake, 96 in Pittsburgh. We have 98 in Chanute. Nowata is sitting at 98 degrees. We can go outside. Here's 7th. Here's range line 98. Heat index 103 with our dew point sitting at 68 degrees. So when our dew points get in the upper 60s to lower 70, then you get into that kind of sticky to muggy range, and that's not where you want to be, especially in the summer months. So our heat indices across the region, it feels like about 100 to 103, 104, 105 once you get out a little bit farther toward the west. Hot evening, if you are going to be out, drink plenty of fluids. Drop back through the 80s only to about 80 for us later on tonight. We did have one little isolated storm, Crawford County into Jasper County earlier today. And again, we can't rule that out as we go through the next couple days. So I'm going to put in like a 10% chance. But most of the rain kind of staying in northern parts of Missouri will kind of rotate off to our east due to Big Dome of high pressure. Kind of keeps everything across the northern plains and then kind of rotates around us. The closer it gets to us, usually the hotter we get and the drier we get. Let's go through time for us tonight. A few clouds, so partly cloudy skies will drop back 78 to about 80. Quick warm up, lower 90s by noon. As we get into the afternoon, most of us about 100, 101, 102 during the afternoon hours. A little bit cooler in our far southern counties, upper 90s. As we go into tomorrow night, we only drop back right around 80 once again. And then as we go through Thursday, we heat up again, about 101, 102, 103 degrees as we go into Thursday afternoon. Again, a very slight chance there could be an isolated thunderstorm over the next couple days. All right, heat indices, the way it's going to feel to your skin, the way your brain thinks it is, about 105, 106 for us tomorrow. Heat indices again on Thursday, about 105, 106 degrees. At least we're going to have a little bit of a breeze. All right, day planner 81 to start, 99 by 4. High temp right around 102. And it has been breezy today. We're going to have those winds gusting 25 to 30 once again for us tomorrow. A little less on Thursday. Winds are going to be gusting kind of in that 20 to 25 mile per hour range. 102 tomorrow, 101 Thursday, 102 on Friday. And then Saturday, we're going to go 101 and then 104s, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 100 on Wednesday. It doesn't even look like we'll get out of the triple digits for a little bit over a week.
And I know the breeze makes it feel a bit cooler on your skin. It also means everything dries out that much faster.
That's true.
Try to water your garden, for example.
Exactly.
Wow, thanks, Doug. The extreme heat making the South is set to spread to the northern part of the country. Nearly 200 million Americans experienced temperatures above 90 degrees today. Extreme heat being blamed for at least 5 deaths at national parks so far this year. Forecasters expect extreme temperatures will still extend to parts of the country through next week. Coming up, how a change in business models helped a pizza place stay afloat during the pandemic. Topping today's Consumer Watch with a looming strike that could have caused a major disruption to the U.S. economy, UPS and its unionized workers announced they've reached a deal. The tentative agreement comes less than a week before the current contract was set to expire. The Teamsters, which represent 340,000 UPS workers, called the 5-year deal historic, saying it includes higher wages for both full-time and part-time workers and air conditioning and delivery trucks purchased after the new year.
I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief that it's not going to happen. A strike in this magnitude with the volume that they handle, we don't have enough alternatives. So first, costs would have gone up, delays would have increased in terms of products.
The union members still do have to ratify that deal. FedEx pilots have rejected a tentative labor deal that included a 30% pay increase. That package included an equal boost in their pension benefits. The major objections from the pilots are not yet clear. 57% of the FedEx pilots who belong to the Airline Pilots Association voted against the proposed contract. The contract was reached in May and endorsed by the union leadership. Since the pandemic, restaurants have found it difficult to recruit and retain employees. You know that. Well, a pizza shop called A Slice of New York lies in the heart of California's Silicon Valley and has baked up a new business model. Reporter Lynn Ramirez shows us how everyone gets an equal slice of the pie.
There is something very different about this pizza place. And it goes beyond their award-winning pies. It's about the people. In fact, everyone in this kitchen owns an equal slice of the business.
We're a worker co-op, which means all the members and owners of the business work in the business.
Kirk Vartan started the business 17 years ago. 6 years ago, he turned it into a co-op by selling the business to his staff as a leveraged buyout. The employee owners are now paying back a business loan with the profits of the company, and they all run the shop as a board of directors.
It's not just a job, it's our baby.
This was Colin Webster's first job when he turned 18 10 years ago. He now chairs the board.
There's a stigma against people that work in the service industry. Like when I tell people, I'm like, no, I own a business and I make more money than some of my friends who went to college.
It's not a new business model, but it is getting a lot more attention after the pandemic wiped out many small businesses. One customer called it a better experience.
This model works. It works from a customer service level, in terms of employee retention. 1, 2, 3.
But it wouldn't work for anyone unless the end product is good.
The proof is in the pizza.
And these long lines at dinner time means consumers and the workers are both getting what they want. Len Ramirez, CBS News, San Jose.
Kind of hungry. The pizza shop has vacation times, a family leave policy, and a 401k. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, why some cities can't cool down amid this scorching heat wave. Then on KOAM News at 6, authorities in Belton, Missouri are searching for 2 people who robbed and assaulted an ATM technician. Took a lot of money. Plus, we're going to have more on the efforts of organizations in Southwest Missouri to give veterans that Christmas in July. And it's MIAA Football Media Day. We're going to hear from both the Gorillas and Lions about the upcoming season. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Here's your daily dose of cuteness. A tiny deer, I mean really tiny, named Paolo was born at Chester Zoo in England. The rare southern poodoo fawn weighed only 2 pounds at birth, stood a little more than 6 inches tall. 6 inches tall. It's hard to get a sense of scale looking at this, but it's little. He's expected to grow only about another foot in total. Poodoo is the world's smallest species of deer. Paolo is part of a conservation breeding program to protect the near threatened species, and I don't think there's any danger of hunters around here going after that poodoo. It would not make a very impressive mount to have that head on the wall.
That's it? That's all you got?
You'd probably be ridiculed by all your friends.
Probably.
Cute animal. The weather, it's going to be hot.
Yeah, heat advisory in effect for the rest of the week. I should have made those alert days. I'll do that for the 6th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. High temps right around 100.
Careful out there. We'll see you right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.